Nice roller that. Right, here we have a 1991 KYOSHO, and it's of the Ferrari 643. It's 8 scale, nitro, and it's quite rare because it's an old school KYOSHO, I think made in Japan, and you know, a few design aspects relating to the early years of nitro. For once, it's got a small engine, but it's a big car. But it's a lovely model with loads of fantastic design features. If you're into suspension design or Formula One technology, and it really brings a lot of it to life in a dynamic model, in a usable way, which is one of the things I love most about RC. It's just being able to see how these systems work, how they've developed over time, being able to use them, get an idea of how durable they are. Do you want to be stuck with a complex system, or is it worth the effort? Anyway, let's have a look. So look, the body is lovely. This is definitely a premium model from KYOSHO. I've got many other ones here that are a lot more flimsy. Even the plastics seem of a higher durability and made to better tolerances, and we'll get into them soon. But the body has some decent scale details, like the driver. He's got a clear visor with a face, wing mirrors. It's nicely moulded all the way around the rear wing and diffuser. And then obviously the aerodynamic elements, the rear wing and front splitter, are nice moulded plastic pieces. So let's have a look at that. That's your back wing. It's dual, well, triple, well, got 4 elements in there, I think. I'm not sure the rules of F1 at the time, but yeah, you've got 3 elements on the top wing, a mid wing and a mid wing, and then you've got your diffuser down there. And on the front, you've got, it's dual element, and it's got big vortex generators there. And then, as was always key in the era, that flat underbody, which is, you know, really nicely designed into this model. Let's get onto it straight away. So this front piece integrates to the metal chassis. This is like fiberglass material. Start with the front bumper. Now that is a bit flexible, so you're not really going to get real downforce off that because it's just going to flex, but prudent in a RC model to have a soft front bumper. But as you can see, these are nicely moulded pieces there, just like the real thing. So we go to the middle. We've got some cooling for the exhaust, and then that's a bit unusual because it's got a cranked over engine. So it's mounted at an angle. You do have that weird hatch there. It's going to help with cooling, but that's a bit odd. And then you've got a nice big integrated diffuser piece with the exhaust coming into the diffuser. So that's a real blown diffuser there, exhaust gases exiting into the diffuser flow, you know, providing even more air under the body, which that fast air, the more volume of fast air you can get underneath is sucking the car down. So some odd aspects are, we've got nice countersunk screws to keep it smooth, but then oddly there's 3 cap head ones here. I'm not sure if they're original, but they stick out and they've been ground down quite a lot. I guess that's a cool place to have some titanium screws for sparks. And then through here, we'll get around to the top, but that's the rear shock absorbers, the lower mounting point. There's the front. So while we're here, let's look at these bladed wishbones for aerodynamics. I mean, that's a really good example of a bladed wishbone. Proper aerodynamic profile on them. large triangulation for strength and lightweight, and you've got an upper and lower one there. It's not a huge amount of travel, but as we'll come to see, it's well done. That little moulded piece there is sort of an ode to the brake duct on the real thing. Just give you a look up that nose at some steering parts, wheel. Some perishing there due to age. That's going to be normal. This car's from 1991, so that's really knocking on a bit. An example of the higher quality mouldings and plastics used in this particular KYOSHO. There you've got that integrated ball joint with a cap to hold it in, so a metal cap over a metal ball joint and a plastic arm. You know, that would just all be plastic in the future. Right, let's get the body off and have a good look at it. The two body posts are on the back corners here. And I really like how that's a well moulded body, goes around all the pieces but still lifts off nicely. So there you go, have a good look at that. It's a lovely, lovely model. Just well made, well proportioned, great design features. I got a weight of 1766 grams. So that's not too heavy, is it? It's quite large. 270 width. 360 wheelbase, sorry, 270 width, and overall 560. Suspension back. Decent control. I know that's slamming the ground, but you can see the movement. It's decent. It's well designed. Suspension there. Well matched. So let us start at the front. And we are looking at the cantilever suspension. So this actually is cantilever suspension. You've got a lower wishbone, an upper wishbone, a tie rod. This is the cantilever, and that actuates the shock absorber. So if I move this up and down, you can see the motion. It's got decent ratio there. It's providing good mid-range support, initial support, but not too much stiction. There are adjustable collars. I don't think you would need much more adjustment on them, actually. If anything, a softer spring I would select. Now this tie rod is for the anti-roll bar. So there you've got a U-shaped roll bar, and that moves that. Is it doing much anti-roll bar effect? Not really, because that's, I think, the full articulation of that arm. You barely see any transfer into the second arm here for the other side. However, it's a nice feature, cantilever actuated roll bar, and then a very lightweight small roll bar, which is what F1's all about, using the smallest elements and getting the most performance out of them. That's your bell crank for your steering. And that's on a bit of a fancy linkage too. So you've got the pivot bolt down there. You've got a wire linkage there, and that's your steering servo. Tiny movement there, linkage actuated. And then this piece is like a mid deck and another upper deck for mounting the receiver and that servo. You'll have to excuse how dirty it is. This car was used with castor oil based fuel, it was very difficult to sort of even clean it to this standard. These fuels get really sticky when they degrade and sit on for a long time. It's quite hard to shift them in a sympathetic way. I don't want to damage it with too much solvents and stuff, and just didn't have enough time to really go through the many stages of just repeated soft cleaning of it. Newer fuels are much better for that, and you know, break down with cleaners nicely. Right, so what we're looking at now is the OS recoil starter, because this one's got an OS Max-10 engine. So there you can see that funny cranked over mount. Did it need to be cranked over? I mean, yeah, I guess to get the head in the tunnel, in your airflow tunnel here. And then this thing, this whole piece here, is a very elaborate fan arrangement. Now you can see the fan in there. It's a sort of hovercraft fan, how to say it. It's aimed to blow air sideways. There's probably a name for that type of fan. So, and that is joined directly to the crankshaft. So you can see me pulling that, turning that fan, and then it ducts it onto the cylinder head. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because you've got the cylinder head in the correct place on the body to have the top tunnel open just above the driver's head, and that would provide that cooling, but the way they've chosen to do it is to use a fan. So maybe it was just never adequate. Or what could have been the case is if you had the body open, there wasn't sufficient exit airflow. So air could go in, but it wasn't coming out the other side. A small fuel tank, the old KYOSHO screw-on cap, stuck on with castor oil fuel. I don't want to damage any of that stuff until I've got more time to take care of it. And here would have been the battery mount for the onboard radio battery pack. And then you've got a linkage operated throttle servo. I love linkages on these. So that's doing your throttle. Not in a particularly effective way there. It is moving, I think. Yeah, that's a bit stuck, that. Right, so you can see down into your engine. So let's look at the engine while we're here. Got the exhaust, that's your chamber, and then that's the bit that goes down into the diffuser, a rubber stinger pipe. So that will quiet it down nicely as well. You've got a bit of a zigzag on the flow, but still pretty decent. Then this is the oddest part. I've never seen this on a nitro car. So this actual flywheel is toothed, and it drives that gear with a shaft down there. Can we see the shaft? Yep, can you see that shaft rotating? So that's your fan shaft driven directly off the crankshaft. So that's spinning even if the car's not moving. So maybe that's why they had it, because you could be idling or slow speed and that would still be turning that fan and blowing cool air over the engine. It's nice to have original OS pull start on there. That probably shows it hasn't been used too much, and it feels like good compression. Okay, body post mount, clutch belt, pinion gear. Right, so that's quite a good shot showing pretty free rotating gear type differential. It'd be nice to see how that drives. Could need to have some thicker grease packed in it. And then simplistically turns that small little shaft down there, goes 90 degrees into the diff, spur gear on one side, integrated brake disc on there, and a clutch belt. Typical 1/10 scale stuff. So that's again what I was saying, this is a big 8 scale car, it's fairly heavy. I'll get a weight for you. But it's got a tiny little engine, a 10 and 1/10 scale running gear. Then you've got rear cantilever suspension. There you have it. it's well done because it's providing direct support and a decent ratio. So cantilever allows you to have all these lengths of the pieces, the elements in it. You can adjust them to actuate your shock absorber in different ratios, and in these applications, so you can use a smaller lightweight shock mounted in a central lowish position and get the characteristics of having the absolute optimum size shock. So that's that. Again, it's just really nice how it's packaged with the drive shaft going through the two shocks, and just being able to see it all there really gives that kind of Formula Car prototype effect. Then you've got two simplistic aero wishbones, V-shaped, and they're nice. They look nice around the gearbox. Back wheel, bigger one. And there's some back views. I mean, that's good back view, isn't it? Aero elements, suspension elements, the engine. Yeah, sorry it's a bit dirty, guys, but you have to just get the idea. So yeah, that's a lovely, lovely model. I know I keep saying it, but you know, I've got a lot of RCs. Some capture your imagination more than others, and you just love looking at them and how they're made. And this is one of them. So yeah, that's it.